Morning, everybody. How's it going? It's Saturday. Is it the last Saturday? No, we got one more Saturday. There's one more Saturday in the month of November, but it is the last Saturday before Turkey Day. Gobble, gobble, shucky, ducky, quack, quack. Look, I'm looking for sweet potato pie. So anybody got the sweet potato pie, just holler at your boy because I'm always looking for sweet potato pie. Fat boy going to eat, so it's going to do what it's going to do. I really don't have much for the day. You know what I'm saying? Just getting back. Been in Indiana all week. Got back last night. Got comfortable. Um, I wanted to go to the post. Sorry, y'all, my damn allergies. I wanted to go to the post, so I went over to the post, the American Legion post. I'm sorry, the American Legion post, thinking that it was someplace I could go to actually step out for a half a second after I got back. I got in late, so I wanted to step out for a half a second, and that thing was deader than hell. And I was like, okay, I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and it was packed to the gill. So I was hoping something similarly was going on last night. Maybe it's a first Friday thing. I don't know. Whatever. Um, I brought my ass home and went to sleep. I do have something. So last week, Sunday, out at a bar catching a football game. Young lady walks past and she says, "Oh, excuse me, pops." Almost died, son. Almost died, son. I was like, pops. Oh, Lord. Whoa, yo, I'm telling y'all, I am going to TikTok. I have my brothers got on me. They did. They were like, yo, you need to get over your fucking self. Go ahead, start TikToking. And I think I have what I'm going to do. Because, you know, as I continue to turn another day, turn another year, talking to my friends, especially friends I grew up with, you know, uh, we we were we really in them streets. We were really knuckleheads, and to talk to these cats now, having children, having some of us actually having full fledged families where we have a dependent, cats own homes now, or just have really mellowed out. It is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to see these cats joke, laugh, just talk trash, and it don't mean nothing. When we were younger, you didn't joke, laugh, and talk trash without it meaning something. There was something behind that. There was a problem about to happen. So to be able to get with us now, we just talk, just laugh, and yo, remember when blah blah blah? Oh my God! Oh son, don't bring that up. You know, all that crap. Yeah, it's a very good thing, and I really want to be able to give that voice to other people. There's life on the other end. I'm every now and again I'll watch a reel, a snippet, or whatever you call it, from Fat Joe and Jadakiss, and even Noriega said it. Noriega, I was watching a reel with Noriega and Angie. I'm sorry, Angie Martinez. Like you all know who the fuck I'm talking about, right? Angie Martinez this morning. And Nori was saying how he was talking about DMX. He was saying how at danger people are living in the same place they grew up in once they've gotten beyond that in their life. Because he was saying how him and DMX for the last couple of weeks of DMX's life were together in some form of fashion every day. And he was like, D told me that he was going to Atlanta, but he never told me he was going back to New York because I would have said something to him about going back to New York, but he didn't share that part with me, and I felt that. I really did feel that. I understand. I understand that being around the way for me is not a good place anymore. That's why when I go around the way, I go during the daytime. I do. First off, most of them cats don't know me anymore. They don't. That's the new cats. Most of the old heads we done left. Now, what happens though, when I show up, right? And I'm dudded out, And I hop out the whip, and these YNs is looking at me like, yo, who the fuck is this dude? And then one of the OGs turns around, be like, oh shit, what's up, Lee? You know what I'm saying? And these YNs like, yo, you know this motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? They like, yo, what's up, son? Oh my god, boy, I was just talking about you. Yo, this is my man right here. And they're not able to connect. They're not able to connect because they see them more often. They may see me once a year, once every other year, whatever. You know what I mean? So again, I'm coming out. I look different. Totally, I move differently, right? I'm in totally different circumstances now. I'm not I'm not that Tim wearing cat no. I'm not that black sweatsuit dude no more. Y'all know you know what I'm talking about. I'm not that black sweatsuit dude no more. I don't do that no more. I'm beyond that now. You know, now I come out with some khakis. Now I come out with a button up fresh press all the time. You know, I don't come out um handling problems. Let's just say that. I don't do that anymore. So yeah, I really want to start talking about that. I really want to start talking to that too. I really do. And the more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm on the edge about doing it. So you know I might start today. I don't think I want to do it every day though. I don't think that's where I'm at yet. But I still do want to chronicle that change because that change is really hitting me right now. That's a huge change in life for me. I'm a September baby. Usually I was the youngest one all the time. No matter where I was at, usually I was the youngest one. To go from the youngest one to being an OG now, to unk status or pop status or whatever the hell you want to call me now, like that's crazy to me. It's crazy to because I still see myself being that little kid. I was small when I was young. I was still less than 150 pounds even when I went in service. I didn't get to 180 or 200. I don't think until
Marriage till you got married.
huh?
Until you
Which
got
is
married. Until you got married. Until you start.
no. No. Because I my first wife, we were married early. I was 18 when we got married. I really don't think it was until the last boy. I think I got up to about 180 then. Because I'm pretty sure I didn't crack 200 until Korea, maybe. I think I cracked 200 around Korea time. If not, it was like right afterwards when I got out. Because I was still pretty, very much tight when I was in service,
The word
even
is
when I got.
the word is felt. He was felt, huh? But hey,
Mm,
once you decide to settle and you don't travel as much and you have different, jobs and directives, your body will change. And it's a
oh
lot to
yeah,
do with your stress levels, cortisol, and other factors, especially the availability of local food and fare. So it's a lot of factors that'll change your body within your environment. And so that's one of the things you have to pay attention to when you relocate into different areas. If it ain't nothing
gee,
but chicken and Chinese, if it ain't nothing but chicken, Chinese, and pizza, your ass gonna swell up,
there
or
you
you
go.
or you're going to be very beholden to your local grocer and farmers market, which is where I find myself now. And so, and then don't even mention, Lee, if you poor, because you know what the pantry's going to give you. They're going to give you
Mm,
it's decent food, but let's not be, it's sometimes not,
rice, potatoes,
it,
bread,
right,
right?
calorie rich, but maybe not so much nutrient rich. And so, that it don't. I mean, I'm not trying. Because I'm a lover of Philando Castile's pantry, so I'm not trying to down say any type of. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying sometimes pantry food, depending on your location, can be a lot of macaroni and pot. Spaghetti pot. Not that. Okay, so um, yeah, don't worry about your body changing quite yet because Just like when you are a baby and you get kind of fat so you can get tall, and then you get kind of chubby pre in your adolescence so you can use that to get into your adulthood weight. Sometimes you pack on a little weight in your middle age so that you can have something reserved as you get older.
Mm.
You're going to lose muscle. You're going to lose muscle, bone density. And so that extra little weight is there to stabilize you. It's like holding chestnuts in your cheeks. And so don't worry about it. Don't have nobody worrying about your chestnuts in your cheeks because eventually
But
we will covet that
but
extra body fat.
but Rashi, let's go back and forth with this a little bit. How has it been for you going from your younger self to your uh what do you all say in the Midwest and that the auntie phase or whatever? Like
Well, here's your problem
has
with
that
me. I have a psychological disorder in that I have been the exact same person since I realized I was a person. The way have I my I'm not saying I'm frozen in in a young time. I'm saying my young time had I talked like this when I was 10 years old.
mm,
Maybe not to the breast of understanding like different subjects, but
mhm, mhm, mhm,
definitely introspective talk, breaking things down. You know, so and to the frustration of most of the adults around me who wanted a child to go find their place, right?
mm,
And
mm.
so what you have in me is an individual who has felt like the exact same person for definitely more than 45 years.
So Rashi, I respect what you're saying about how you feel about yourself. The what I'm trying to carry forward is how the world now sees you, how the world now addresses you. Regardless of
Ah,
how you feel about
all
yourself,
right.
regardless of how you see
So,
yourself, like when you walking around and these cats, these young cats, male, female, don't matter, in between the transmissions, whatever the heck you want to call them, how they now address you and how they act toward you versus how you may see yourself.
right. Okay, so when you have a certain type of presence of mind, you force people to behave a certain way around you. You can
Okay.
tailor, you can somewhat tailor your environment just by the caliber of conversation you bring, the speed at which you move your body, you know how much teeth you show, how open your hands are. I hate to be graphic about this. I know you think I'm being facetious, but I'm not.
No,
once
no,
you
you
rea-
good.
Once you realize how you can be in an environment and how what your niche is and what you can do, people treat you the same. I have been treated the same almost my entire life. Now, what do I mean by that? When I was young, adults would treat me like I knew more than I should. They would just kind of put me in a second class child but not so child environment, meaning they would hand me their checkbooks to go to the store to buy groceries at the age of 10 and 11. I was responsible for the main care of children since I was at least 11, 12 years old. So when you get that status from adults then and you get that same status from adults now, it don't feel like no difference. Also, children when I was young assumed that I knew whatever was next to do. When I was with my cousins, they was like, "What we up to?" And I was like, "I think we should go walk downtown and buy. Y'all got some money? We should go downtown and see what's on sale." That was what we was doing. We would walk downtown. I mean,
Mhm.
and I'm not the oldest cousin, but if you have a certain demeanor, your words carry weight, and people just treat you a certain type of way. And I recognize that behavior in others, and I mimicked it at least until I was 10 years old, till it became my actual person. It is who I am. And so
Mm.
whether you catch me in a bar, whether you chilling, I am the same. And I don't know if you have noticed that over the last years, that while I may look different, yes, of course, time gonna do what it's gonna do. I do not behave all that different. If I want to get
Right.
up and go somewhere, I go just like you. You want to go to China tomorrow? You want to be in China? You can fix your way. You can fix your way to be in China. Thomas, you want
Yeah.
your shit popping on the internet? You sit, you code, boom. You manifest your own personal destiny. And so when you deal with individuals who are not victims to their environment, they
Mm,
understand that they have a certain amount of fortitude, like they at least remember some shit nobody else can remember. I don't know. I can't tell you all the tenets of what that is. All I can tell you is when I saw it, when I saw somebody who knew what to tell people to do, when I saw someone who did not, who was not, who was proactive. Oh my God, proactive instead of reactive. When I saw proper planning that nobody else understood in the time, but she said, no, do this like this now because later it would need to happen like this.
mm.
I didn't understand what, when I started figuring out reality in that sense, I never turned back. I start thinking about the next step every time. I never went into too many situations other than marriage, not knowing what was going to happen next. And so,
Okay. Okay.
and so, this is what I'm telling you. If you have adopted a certain mindset, where I think that aging, if you want to age properly, you don't let go of yesterday.
Hmm.
You don't let it go. If you used to like to skip rope, get you some rope. If you used to like to, if you used to like to bang in the streets, you can start playing that shit if you want to. But them babies got the
Mm.
switch on them. Them babies got the switchy witchy. And if you
Yeah.
and if you too old, Lee, walking outside of a Chicago elementary school trying to pick up your son, you're gonna get your ass beat. You understand?
Mm.
So you have to reckon with being old. You have to keep your demeanor to where you can broker trust amongst, people. But honestly, it's a state of being. It's a state of mind being. And when I see it, and I tell both of you brothers every time, I'm here to learn. When you see someone who has presence of mind and they manifest their own reality, you sit and you learn. You shut the hell up. You listen to what they said and you learn. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. So
Okay.
that's what. Guess what I'm gonna do?
You want to sit and you want to learn, right? So, Thomas, same question to you, bro. Good morning to you first and foremost.
Hey, good morning.
How has it been for you to transition from a YN or a young bull
Mm,
to in Rashi's verbiage, a more seasoned gentleman?
mm. You know what? I don't know, man. I've always been told since I was young that I've always been serious. So I
Mm,
think when you always have like a serious mindset and you ain't never really been one to be playing, you age like different
mhm.
than everybody else. So it's pretty much the same because I mean, the only thing changes is really just your decision making because of
Right.
experience. You know, you find out that the stove is hot, so you don't put your hand on the stove when you see that flame
Say
coming,
that again.
right? And then you start also learning based off of experience, you know, the do's, the don'ts, the wills, and the won'ts. I think the one thing that I've gained getting older is grace for younger people, though.
Mm,
When it's your peers, you know, you call people stupid, you call them dumb, you call them irresponsible. We got all of these words that we use to talk about what other people do. And one of the words that we don't use most often to describe people is inexperienced. And so when you get
good
older,
point.
it's just experience. You know, you earned a right. That's why I don't like when younger kids use the term old head. Because what I tell them all the time is you better hope you get to this age. I got plenty of peers who didn't make it. And also this is a badge of honor and dignity to get right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
You
it
talking
is.
about a man who been shot twice, sliced across an inch away from my jugular. Like, listen, bro, I had to fight to get here. I can't let you just shit on me because your mama, you know, hate your daddy. That ain't gonna happen. Because a lot of these young men, and that's another thing you learn with experience versus inexperience, is that a lot of young men that with the switches, they got daddy issues unresolved and they hate men. They hate men who look like them. That's why they kill each other the way they do. And then they subconsciously hate their mama too. That's why they disrespect women the way that they do. And so, so it's but as far as myself, I just feel like it's just experience, man. That's the only difference, man, is I've witnessed and experienced this.
So I want to get to that. Go back a couple of paces if you don't mind.
Mhm.
Rashi, I don't know if you've ever been shot or shot at, but I'm gonna tell you, the first time I got shot at, notice I said first time because that wasn't the only time. Um, I ain't even gonna bluff, son. I was scared shitless. Your boy Ali Sadiq says, these cats be getting on the radio on these songs and they talking all this crap about shootouts, and
Mhm.
you can tell they ain't never been in a shootout because that's not how it go.
Mhm.
that's not how it go.
Mhm.
Trust me, that's not how it go.
Not typically.
It is a very humbling experience
Mhm.
when you realize that you weren't hit. And then, if you've ever been in a situation where you return fire, especially on the streets, now in service, different story, but on the streets, you return fire, it's a
Mhm.
very nerve wracking experience because you are worried that you hit somebody,
Mhm.
somebody's baby,
Mhm.
somebody's mama,
Mhm.
and you know what I'm saying? So you are really trying to figure out if them boys gonna be looking for you. And I ain't talking about just the boys on the street, because
Mhm.
obviously you shown that you can handle that part.
Mhm.
I'm talking about them alphabet boys gonna be looking for your ass. You trying to figure out where can I go
Mhm.
if this thing go left.
So I
And
have.
and let me tell you something, dog. When you hear them bullets go by you, I love war movies, right? And if
Mhm.
you ever watched a war movie about the Navy and hear a submarine fire a torpedo,
Mhm.
that bullet has that sound. When it zips by you, it has that sound like it's a freaking torpedo.
Mhm.
And again, when you go through that and you recognize that you ain't hit,
Mhm.
then you start worrying about who did I hit, what did I hit, and what consequences are going to come from that.
Mhm.
And that's some real shit. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? At least that's my experience. Rodney, you shook your head, yes. Thomas, you shook your head, yes.
Mhm.
That's a common thread, obviously, amongst us three that's been in that
Luckily,
situation.
I didn't have to dodge the bullets, brother. But a brother got so mad at me for my words that he pulled a 22 on me, and I shut the hell up and went to learning.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
22 will mess you up, but in
Oh,
ways,
yeah.
um, can mess you up in ways
Yeah.
that you wouldn't think. But I would just say, the thing is, what I know, just experience wise, going back to experience versus just disrespecting folks. Experience wise is that people who experience that, whether it's from the military or from a street level, they don't glorify it as much. So
Nope.
when you find people who've been shot at people, been to prison over it or whatever the case, especially if you felt them bullets, you don't necessarily, that's not something that you're willing to glorify or have like casual conversations. That's typically for
Correct.
other people. And I never caught on to it until one of my homeboys, one day we were having a conversation. It was about some conflict with some other cats. And I was talking about some stuff that I'm like, hey, we should do this, and this. And he was like, yeah, bro, that's easy for you to say it. But once it's done, what's gonna be on your mind afterwards? And I was about to respond, and then I realized who I was talking to and understand the demonstrations he didn't put down before. And when you understand the demonstrations, what he's saying is it's heavy on my mind still. So are you willing to go that far? Because it is not just what you saying. It ain't just the rap song where you go to you skipping, it's just the next song. It's it's somebody, if you're successful at what you're talking about, when all things go quiet and dim, your conscience sits and you may not be able to survive your conscience. And I think that that's something that we don't talk enough about amongst black men. Because, we always ask why black men don't check other black men. Well, because we know that checking another brother may end up being life or death. And if I'm checking a brother over you and you're going to go back and be laying up with that brother, slobbing him down, then why am I dead? Or why do I got to kill him? Because nobody asked for permission slips when you in a game, engage with these folks. So men are more thinking because of that era. And Rodney, we got to get you typing in the chat because it just makes it a lot more smooth if people can see what you're saying.
Oh,
Because
I can cut it.
yeah, if you can cut it and paste it so people can see it, because it'll look just a lot more smoother. Because he be saying some good stuff up in there. He got like 5
Yeah,
of them.
you do.
So
He
let's
be
let
killing it.
yeah let's let people see what he's saying so they can get that game from the game lord. As I'm about to start, go get that game from the game lord. But you know, I just feel like that's just the difference. When you really go through it and you meet people that's went through it, they ain't really talking like how all these other people be talking. And yeah, that's why I don't play. Like that's why when I go in certain situations and people be talking, I'll be like, we just got different life experiences. I done been shot twice. So if you get to start talking to me about shooting, then when you say you're gonna do something to me, I'm looking at it way different because now I feel like now I got to do something to you to make sure you don't do what I didn't experience. You know what I'm
There you
saying?
go.
So the conversation that you may have with somebody else that's never been shot, right? Like I got a brother, man. He done been in more shootouts than anybody I know, but he ain't never got shot. That's probably why he been in all them shootouts. If he had to,
Oh wow.
if he had to taste those bullets, if he had to taste what he had to deal, he wouldn't deal it. And that's one thing
Mm.
about the ghetto that a lot of folks don't know is the young cats with the switches and all of that. They ain't never taste them shells, because you start seeing the people that have been shot, they slow it up. You ain't trying, and I mean, you got some hard headed ones that'll keep going. That's a for sure. But you got a lot of people that understand, man, that them bullets burn in different ways. You know what I'm saying? They burn it. I got shot in my hand and my stomach at the same time. And then the time before that, I got shot like a year prior, I got shot in my leg. So, you know, you just can't. And that was like, man, bro, I'm telling y'all, I got slit. I got cut on my neck first. That was 18. Later that summer, I got shot in my leg, right? Fast forward the next summer,
What,
I got shot in
what
my
were you doing for all these things?
everything I've told you I've done. So, uh, but I'm just saying to you, like, you got to understand, like, so when I hear people saying certain things, and also about your surroundings and the people you around and things of that nature too, those things matter. So once I put myself
Yes, they
around
do.
better people, then I stopped having to worry about that. So I had to really transition. And shout out to my brother Travis Sankofa, because a conversation on the bus line with him probably saved my life because it gave me an out. Then I had somebody else that was equally more positive, and he was trying to do something else to transition on. And so building that bond and that friendship with him gave me an out versus going and tapping in with my homeboys that either I was either gonna get shot again, I was either gonna shoot somebody, or I was gonna go to the penitentiary, and they were doing. And most of my homeboys were catching fed time at that time. So I was gonna do time and probably, I was gonna have to do 90%. And they were, they hit my crew with a Rico. And so just would have been a whole new ball game.
Rodney, you typed a lot. I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak on it before we gave Brother Barry the floor so he can talk about the watch. Did he go take a call? Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Man, I the I used to run track, and I was pretty fast. But I tell you what, see, the reason why they fire a gun off at the beginning of a track meet is because you will run faster. When
Mhm.
I when I was doing things that I should not have been doing as a younger person, and somebody came after me with a gun, that is the fastest I ever ran in my life. Whatever my fastest track time is, probably wasn't close to what my time was when that dude pulled that gun out. And I man, I'm in my 60s. That was in my teens. And I still remember the feeling now that I had back then. I still remember those butterflies in my stomach. I still, I remember everything. But I tell
Yeah,
you
for
what,
real.
they should have had the clock on me because I'm sure I broke some records.
Man, again, first time it happened to me doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Them blicky started flying. I'm like, oh, I got low. You hear me? Second time it happened to me doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. But that go around, I was a little more prepared. That's all I'll say on that one. And that got so when I came, I ain't even on front, son. That first, I guess, I don't think I went outside the next day. I think it was like the second day when I finally went outside. Then I started asking questions like, yo,
Yeah.
everybody all right? You know what I'm saying? Because them things was flying. Incoming, outgoing, incoming, outgoing. Like, everybody all right? And, Muzz like, yo, son, that was wild. But yeah, ain't nobody get hit. Like, that's what's up. Like, that's a huge weight off my freaking shoulders. Then my ass had to go to school the next day. You know what I'm saying? That happened on a Friday night.
Right.
I got the good word on Sunday. My ass had to be in school on Monday. Yeah, crazy, man.
Yeah.
But
So
I
my
tell you
point
what,
of all of this,
listen,
would
this
you
is
say,
how
Russia?
I was sitting on the edge of a stage and we was doing the dozens. Your mama, and your mama's a crackhead. Your mama, blah, blah, blah. The person I was jonesing had a fragile spirit. I tapped on a particularly bad subject and he pulled a 22 out and I was done jonesing. So I hate
Oh,
I
wow.
hate that my gun experience is so much sadder. But let me let you know. I know now. I truly know when to be quiet when I'm in the presence of fragile dispositions.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Morning, brother Marlon. Yeah, we just having a recap of life and the adventures of youth and growing up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? That Boys in the Hood movie hit me really close. That joint was they hit it. They hit it. That ain't everybody's experience, but it damn sure was mine. Not all the way out, but close enough. Brother Barry, you had some things you wanted to talk about with respect to the watch.
we going
Floor
from
is yours, man.
we going from that to that, huh?
Hey, look, they tie together. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god. Well, I guess you got to watch in some aspects the scenario and the situation to make sure that you do not end up unfortunately
Laid
alive.
out.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, and that's the our part. So anyway, you don't have to do it like this. Let's put it on the four screen because I don't want to make it so much about
Okay.
me solo because it's a conversation. The Watch app is a conversation about community, and I feel like that's really what this is about. Because a lot of times, people individualize the idea of a solution, and the solution is only really wrought with the people who's going to utilize it. And so I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna say some words, and then I'm gonna show people what the app looks like, so everybody will be able to see it and understand the premise. But first thing I want to say is this app is a tool, and I want to say that explicitly to everybody listening. It's a tool. You can build with a tool or you can destroy, but the choice of the matter is it's on you on what you do with this tool. It is a GPS populated app that gives citizens the ability to monitor law enforcement interactions with themselves as well as other citizens. You can record those interactions. With the recording of the interactions, it not only saves the face, but also the voice of the law enforcement officer so that you can track how many times that law enforcement agent has stopped other people. How many times have the law enforcement agent violated people's rights? You can also, while recording, you can send notice to family and friends that you're pulled over. They'll be able to see and hear the stop. It's very important because here in Minneapolis, after the death of George Floyd, people were having anxiety attacks when being pulled over by law enforcement. Now, another great thing that the app does is that it helps those who feel like they are in the middle of a crisis where it's a mass shooting. We have a panic button feature. The panic button can be used for mass shooting, and it also can be used for women or men, whomever, who are in domestic violence situations, so that family and friends can know that this is happening, as well as have the location of where it's happening, and then have law enforcement show up to help those people. That is very important, especially going into the holiday season when people are overly stressed based off of what they can't provide for their family or even themselves, or just maybe simply depressed. The app is a what we call a PWA. So you can use it on your cell phone, and you also can utilize it and watch what's happening on your phone. It's very accessible. When you are recording your interactions with law enforcement, something I won't be able to show you on the screen today, you have to try it in live time. Your screen goes black, meaning when the officer pulls you over and you turn on the app, your screen goes black. There is no reverb on your speaker. Then you can start recording that interaction. If you cannot get the officer's face, but you get the officer's voice, and someone else gets his face in another stop along with his voice, the AI system that we created will match that voice and that face so that we can add that into the analytics of that officer's stop. Why is that important? Well, typically, when they intervene for officers who violate citizens' rights, they're either going 2, 3, sometimes 4 years behind. This changes things in live time. What do I mean by live time? Well, maybe you can record it, they can see it, but also they can compile what he's done or she's done in 30 days, what he or she has done in 60 days, 90 days, what has the precinct done. So we don't have to talk about, let's say here, hypothetically in Minneapolis, the 4th precinct. Maybe it's just Officer Tuesday and Officer Friday who's doing all of these things. Well, now we can pinpoint Officer Tuesday, Friday. We got video evidence. And then we also have court documents showing anything that they have done in the past to violate citizens' rights. And that brings that up into real time. That helps you if you are pulled in court because Officer Tuesday or Friday has stopped you. If they have a history of planting evidence and people have won cases against them, or they've been reprimanded, that also is in the system. We also have the ability for subscribers to have access to mental health professionals, not just because of law enforcement, but some people are battling depression, anxiety, suicidal ideations, etc. We felt like that was very important for Black community because a lot of our people are saying they don't know where to find mental health professionals. So we wanted to put that in the palm of your hands. Same way with attorneys. We wanted to put attorneys in the palm of your hand so that you can have access to the attorneys that's inside of your community. We want to make sure that we are bringing things to those who are underserved, and we're putting it into the device that they use the most. Another great thing about the app that you'll see when I pull it up is that you can also chat on the app like you do Facebook right now. We can do the exact same thing we're doing with this stream on that app. And you can comment, you can share, you can create your own groups and have discussions. You could fundraise. So this is a new level. And the reason why we added fundraising, and I'm gonna pull it up in a second because I hate talking about it so much. That's all I do. But if you want to fundraise, you can also fundraise with the app to put yourself in a position where you can raise dollars and you don't have to do GoFundMe and pay those fees. We are sincere and serious about making sure that our community start utilizing each other versus going to other communities, paying hefty fees, being told that we can't raise dollars based off of the situation that they don't like the plight that somebody in our community is in. Here in Minnesota, once again, we had a situation in Rochester, Minnesota, where a white lady raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for calling a Somali kid a nigger. And it was a fight for that to be taken down. But my question to my community consistently is, well, why do we deal with GoFundMe when we can just create our own? And I'll say this to everybody. That's it. I would say this to everybody, and I want to make sure that I'm clear when I'm saying this, because I know my community, and this is no disrespect to us. I know building this app, I'm probably going to have white people utilize the app first and foremost. And that's okay, because it's a tool. It's a tool for everybody to use. So when you go on it, I don't want you to feel any type of way like Brother Rodney showing it up. And I don't want you to feel as if there's anything that nobody else is supposed to be using. It's a tool for everybody, because the only way this works is everybody who gets stopped by law enforcement have this app. It is affordable. Want to state that as well, very affordable. And when we talk about affordability, when people say, well, why isn't it free? Well, because we got after school programs that can't get funding, because we have families who are victims of police violence. And once everybody stops focusing on that family, the family still struggle. They still need mental health supports. They still need help with their bills. 6% of the proceeds that come through this app goes to support those families and other programs in urban communities throughout America on an annual basis. So this is not just about pulling money in and me going on vacation. This is about me pulling money in and redistributing it through the community, as well as hiring. I want to make sure I say that clear. Hiring Black folks in all regions, white folks in all regions, brown folks in all regions, Asian folk in all regions, to be able to man these jobs, because it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week business. We need coders, we need therapists, we need attorneys, we need customer service folk. We need all of those things at one time. And this is all about the safety of the public. And if you don't think you don't need it, wait till ICE come in your neighborhood, and wait till you saying you're Black and they're not going to do anything to you. And they say, you look Haitian to me. And oh, by the way, you forgot your wallet that day. Now you probably deported to Haiti, which you've never been. So this is why I've created the app. This is why I created the platform. And what I will tell anyone who has questions, you should sign up right away. And even if you can't afford the annual fee of $49.99 for the app, try $5.99 a month if you are a parent. If you have a college student or a high school student, it's only $10 a year. I think that's very affordable. And why that's important is, have you checked college campuses if you got a daughter who's on college? Have you saw the sexual assault rates that's happening on college campuses? We're pushing our daughters to those campuses, but once they're on those campuses, they have no way of defending themselves most time. This app allows you, as well as your daughter or your son, to stay connected. If there's a situation, they can voice activate the panic button, and within a 50-mile radius, law enforcement is notified, and so are you. You'll be able to hear what's going on, see what's going on. And if you can get to your child, get to your child. And if you can't, you can call someone else that can get to your child. Because in the midst of all of those things taking place, your child will not be able to make that call. But if they program their phone, they can voice activate it to get help right away. Same way if there's a mass shooting on a college campus or a high school campus. And don't tell me it does not happen, because we just had a football coach killed last week in California on campus. So don't believe what they're telling you on Fox News, that these things are hoax. These things are real, and they're happening in real time. We live here in a place where we have the Mall of America. There's no telling what can happen at the Mall of America. There's no telling what can happen to you when you're at a concert venue. Do you see the amount of men and women who are going missing? So these are all responses. Every feature of the app is a response to what's happening. So let me pull this up. I apologize for taking y'all time. I love talking about my baby here. Lee,
Me
I got
too.
the ability to share. Lee, do I got the ability to share?
Give me a second. I'm looking now. Mm-hmm.
And I just want everybody to know that when it comes to not only Las Vegas, but the entire state of Nevada, I'm number one on the app because I believe in it. I'm willing to pay the money for the protection of me, my family, because there are provisions for a group price for the family so that if something goes down, they have a way to contact me and others, hopefully, who will show up. And let's keep in mind when they have these ICE raids, one of the things that has been very helpful in preventing people from being disappeared is when people show up and pull their phones out and start recording. Imagine if there's yourself and you have the watch and all of your friends that are close to you show up and then they have it and all of their friends show up. That's a force multiplier. Don't need guns, just people expressing their First Amendment rights, tyranny from the government.
One
Yeah,
hundred.
Thomas, you should be good.
Okay, so I'm gonna start sharing my screen. So I'm gonna let you guys see what it looks like from a desktop presentation of it. Rodney showed already from what it looks like from a cell phone. And so, can you guys see that?
It's coming up.
All right. Let me know when you can see it, and I'll get started because I'm
Yeah, we
proud of
good.
this. All right, we good. All right. So
Yep.
as you guys can see, you see the missing persons card. That's another thing that you'll see implemented even on the mobile phone. It will just pop up in certain sectors. You can see who's missing in the area. This is actual missing person. And then you see right here, here's a mock uh, photo of a therapist. That this is how you can access your therapist. You'll see advertisements for therapists, but then we also have what we call a portal where you can go on there, and you see right here at the bottom, I'm circling right here. You see where it says support? I click on
Yep.
that. You see how right here, this is where you go to access therapists. This is where you go to access legal support. So you're able to go on the app, and this is, once again, we're talking 24 hours a day. This is based off of your area because we feel like we know research says that underserved communities have a hard time finding therapists. They have a hard time finding attorneys. And if you are in a being where somebody's trying to lock you up for a crime that you did not commit, you're gonna have some anxiety. And if you spend enough money, you're gonna have some depression. And you're gonna need an attorney. And in some instances, if you cannot afford a therapist because you don't have medical insurance, we'll put that on a sliding scale for you. If it's a situation that's caught on the app, and we know for a fact that, hey, watching this video, this brother did not violate anything, this officer violated this brother's or this sister's right, or anybody's right. When I say brother and sister, I mean whomever. Race don't matter. Just take the race out of it, then we'll help you and we'll cover or help cover your legal support as well. That's another piece of why we're charging for this, because we know enough people cannot cover it. Similar to the insurance industry, where they know everyone don't have insurance, but if everybody pays, they can cover costs for those who get hit by people who don't have insurance. So that's part of our rhyme or reason. And so I wanted to show you guys that. We also have a messaging piece where you see there's no conversations, but if you have friends and family that's on the app, you can start messaging with those people, or you can message with people who may have an interaction with an officer that you've had a run-in with before. You can message those people if you can see those streams inside of your community. Why is that important? Well, I will tell you, when the situation happened with George Floyd and Derek Chauvin, the Asian cop that's they're about to release from prison, as soon as I saw him, I knew my cousin Chris Walker, rest in peace to Chris, had a litany of situations with that officer harassing him on 24th in Bloomington, even pulling Chris over while the officer was in plain clothes with his family on a day off. The officer was. And my cousin was just walking to the store to get some cigarettes, just moved here from Mississippi. And that officer had pulled his gun out on him and made him get on the hood of the car while the officer was with his family. He thought Chris was somebody else. So those types of things do exist. Another piece, and I love this part about the app because I still haven't put my what's the name on, but as you can see, you can hook up your own main page. It's called the U board, and it shows everything that you posted, whatever the case may be. I just been posting things just to get stuff warmed up, but this is part of the app. So you have the community piece. And then I do want to show you the record piece, but I can't show it to you because I'm on my laptop. But you can record. And once again, it's live. So the facial recognition, the voice recognition, all of that is in there. And we're backloading our police files. I think I've shown the cop cards a few times online. You'll be able to see those cop cards when you go into the precinct. So when I come back out to Vegas, I'm coming back out to Vegas not only to talk about the app, but also to build that database of law enforcement officers who violated citizens' rights in Vegas. Those things cost. It's going to cost us to get the court documents because we're trying to make sure that everything is exact information. We want you to know exactly who those officers are. So we need to build that up in a database. So when you go from precinct, whether you're in North Vegas or the west side of Las Vegas, you should know who those officers are. And so it costs to build that database out because we have to pay for those documents. And we're going to get that set up in Vegas. Just to be transparent, our first 4 core cities is Minneapolis and St. Paul. We're putting that all as in one. Then we're doing Las Vegas, we're doing Chicago, and then we're doing Atlanta. Part of that is based off of the people who are affiliated with the app as well as proximity. And then we'll build it out. What does that mean? Does it mean Marlon can't use the app in Florida? No, Marlon can use the app in Florida. Matter of fact, Marlon can use the app in Florida. And if, let's say, 3,000 people in Marlon's town got the app and they're going through the stop, the AI is going to start tracking whomever that officer is, which would pull us to that town. And then what we'll have to do is we'll go in and we'll go find the information, backload the information, and load it up so everybody can know. And in real time, what those arrests don't go unknown. The AI catches up to what we're doing, and then we'll start assigning the face. That's the facial recognition, right, with the audio. And so now we know exactly who that officer is. And now people will know how many times that officer within the past 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever. Won't take 4 years, won't take 2 years, won't take 1 year. We'll be able to catch that in real time. So this is a real sophisticated app. And, I'm serious about it. People don't know it's been a lot of planning that's gone into making this happen. And so this is about making sure that if we're saying we want police reform, the only way to reform is that you have to pick out those who are violating people's rights, no different than ICE. If you're telling me somebody is pulling a gun, and I've seen this in Chicago, where they told someone, if you don't get the F back, I'm going to shoot you. That person needs to be recorded. You need to understand who that person is, and that person should never have a job in the country where they have a badge and a gun. That person is a menace to society. You have to understand it only takes 8 points of pressure to pull that trigger. And what projectile comes out of there, it may miss its target, and whoever is behind the target may get hit. So that's why all of this is important. This is about your civil rights. I want to go through a couple things too. Hopefully this pulls up. So we got our watch store. Also is on there because people have been like, hey, what's up with the sweatshirts? And hopefully this loads up properly. Some things, so as you see, you can buy merchandise and things like that through the app as well. That's very important. I know Rodney has asked about that. So now you see, Rodney, you see the new designs. People do not have none of these designs yet. These are new designs. And as a matter of fact, if you are watching today and you sign up and you say, hey, I watch Real Radio, if you inbox me, And you can sign up whether it's $5.99 or you can sign up for $49.99 for a year. If you do that today, I will send you out that TW t-shirt. If you do that, all you have to do is just say, hey, you listen to Real Radio. I saw the presentation. I really liked it. Whatever the case may be, just inbox me as you see, or inbox Lee, inbox Rodney, inbox Rashi. Let them know that you watched the show and that you wanted to sign up for the app and you want to become a watchful citizen. That's what we're calling our folks. And I'll send you out a t-shirt. Let's get you a t-shirt, because the other thing too is making sure that we let everybody know that we're here, because we ain't going nowhere. This is for the long haul. I'm not expecting um I'm not expecting a lot of quantity of people to sign up. I'm just looking for a quality of folks who really want to do police reform. And here's the fundraiser piece. We have no fundraiser yet, but if you want to start a fundraiser, you can. And one thing about the fundraiser is that we do verify whether it's funeral costs, medical bills. They have to upload that information to us so we can make sure that they are not scamming citizens. We make sure that the fundraiser piece, that we verify that piece 100%. We want to know if you say Peebo Bryson is dead, well, we need to see what's up with Peebo. Uh, as far as this app, all right, and Peebo, I ain't trying to wish no death on you, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Like, goodness gracious.
But with podcasts, we're gonna work out to where we can have Real Radio podcasting Saturdays live on this app, because we want more podcasting and content that is serious. The other thing about this platform compared to Facebook is you won't see a lot of ads. So if you're on here to have intellectual conversation, you want to be informed about what's going on in your community, you'll be able to have that. We'll also have acknowledgments. And you can acknowledge anything. You can acknowledge community events that's going on. You can acknowledge Brother Rodney because he's passing out the food inside of Vegas. You can acknowledge Brother Lee because he sent 5 strippers to college, or whatever the case may be. You can put all those acknowledgments right
I
there on
support
the
single moms.
so you can put all of those things on the page. And I will even say this much. Might be controversial to some, but it's not controversial to me. If there's officers that is doing well in your town, and you know that they're taking time out to really do the job and really you know do hand in hand, work with the community, meaning they're making sure that other officers are not violating citizens' rights, and we want them officers acknowledged too on the page. And it's just a lot more that I'll probably be adding before the February launch of the hard launch. But that is the Watch app. And I'm here not only to talk, but I want you brothers to tell me, what do you think now that you've seen it?
It's on. I mean, that's spot on, Cat. You really delivered all the tenets you were talking about for as long as I can remember you having this vision. I'm happy for you, proud of you,
My
and we just need to get the word out.
Wait a minute, what was that? One of those blue bottles?
Yes, it was,
Yeah.
bro.
I was like, can I have some? That looks so appetizing. Anyway, wait. Hey, did I tell y'all the show is called Wisdom of the Crowd? Wisdom of the Crowd is the name of the show. And Thomas, you have taken an entire show and compressed it into an app that is going to blow the muffin top off of people when they realize what. I don't think you realize the magnitude. You know what you're doing, but I don't think you understand what you have done. There's going to be a time when you are not going to be able to rest, okay? All right? There's going to be a time, Thomas, when you are going to be on television like big time, like big time on television, okay? If this if people are able to understand, because they talk police reform, but police reform is local.
Mhm.
They're your local
Yes.
police. There's no, so this is how you maintain. This is it. They've been looking for the conduit. You can go in there and complain to the police with the police. Yeah. They'll write that shit down. He hit me.
Mhm.
Okay. When you show them footage of them hitting you, when you show them the entire interaction, then you got a claim. Now this we talking money. Now see this is what you don't hear. Do you know how many times we didn't complain about the police and we didn't have no footage, no audio, no visual? All we had is a drunk who would sleep on the bench. We would have to go find him, sober him up, wake him up, see if he recalled the incident. It's the only reason why we have anything against them for the cop that shot old boy in the back in the in South Carolina, I think, and threw the fake gun down at his feet. It's the only reason why we have footage of them shooting up your boy Philando. You understand? This is the only reason why we have a case against for Alton Sterling. It's because there's footage of him sitting in the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
But without the footage, Barry, it's he say she say, right? And
100%.
they say it's always because of the Fraternal Order of Police and the Brotherhood of Blue and just outright fuckery. They always have an allegiance amongst themselves. And so if you can't show them, look, sometimes you can show them, look. And they be like, see, you looking at it in a different context. No. Here's the other look. Here's another context. This is what you finna give us. Here are the six amounts of context. Every time we go to the court, imagine, Barry, if a cop transgresses against 10 people, right?
Yep.
And they all put on your app that they've been transgressed against, right?
Right.
And they show up to court with transcripts showing all 10, and all 10 of them come up with transgression tickets for all 10 of y'all.
Mm.
And when that judge sees that there's a cop out there wreaking that type of havoc with that type of paperwork behind it, this is police reform. That is how you get there. Going down there and talking to the sergeant don't work. But when the sergeant get that package from the judge with all them transcripts and stuff in it that go to a link on a server where the
Mm-hmm.
video is, you understand, at a verified server where they can access the data on public real time. Oh, okay. Well, that's a different weight. That's a different claim. That's something you can ask to call my boy Benjamin Crump about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you get to calling my guy Ben, and he looks at that data, and he looks at your data, it's gonna be on like a motherfucking Donkey Kong, boss. And I just want to thank you because it is the voice. We did not have a place. We did not have a congregate. We was trying to use World Star. We was trying to use World Star. We was trying to use YouTube Live. We was trying to use Facebook Live. And when you get ready to ask Facebook and them for your cop footage back, they say, huh? This is against the code. This is a code violation. This is a blah blah blah. It ain't no code violation on your app. You're supposed to be there. You don't have an affiliation with the Fraternal Order of Police that will block you from compiling a database of anti citizen behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So you just if what my thinking is right, you're about to be a very busy man, and you may even not be able to be our NAACP vice president because the amount of time you're going to spend disseminating America with this very important conduit, it's gonna consume.
So
And so yeah.
I want to say a couple things though. The first thing is that I know that it's going to, and I've tried to prepare people around me that things about to change because of the app. And so what I've been trying to tell family and friends is that we can certain things we have to navigate differently. And good morning to you, brother John Thompson. Brother John Thompson is also a part of my team. And he's helped in an immense way. I got a great team, and I just want to shout them out. I won't say everyone's name, but John is here, and John's one of the people that'll be on the front end. So I just want to salute, former state rep John Thompson, because he's put me in rooms that I probably wouldn't be able to get into without having him there. And this is putting us in a position not only to be in rooms here in the state of Minnesota, but also be in rooms in other places in Illinois. Shout out to my uncle Larry Sapp, as well as my cousin Larry Smith, because it really does take a team to make this work, Sister Rashi. And it takes, a comprehension willingness to understand that things are not going to be the same for you once you do these things. And so this has been something that I wanted to do for the last 5 years. And so now we're here. And that's why when you guys see me kind of short, when people are trying to pull me this way or that way, why aren't you doing this for me? Why aren't you doing that for me? I'm like, bro, if you only understood what I was working on, I could do what you asking me to do. And if I launch my app, I can get my brains blown out messing with you because you're not understanding the seriousness of what it is that we're working on, and we're going to keep on pushing it. I'm not fearing no worry about death and any of that stuff. I'm just more concerned about um, more people in our community being abducted. I'm more concerned about more unarmed people being shot around the country by law enforcement and by ICE. I'm more concerned about people not getting their due process. I have a sheriff in Hennepin County here who is a black woman who has started back, stop and frisk. And, only because they know the laws are going to change in 2026. So they're ramping it up. And so now I have to worry about every day, may a brother on the north side of Minneapolis or the south side of Minneapolis or somewhere in Brooklyn Park or Brooklyn Center, because we're talking about the sheriff's office, may be gunned down because of a incident, not because that sheriff deputy wanted to do it, but they're being told to do this every morning. They're being told that they have to go out and get these numbers up, and that's something else. And so it's just a great spirit, but we gonna keep rolling.
So two things. I want to get more details on that real quick. And then Rodney said he had to leave early, so I want to give him an opportunity to jump in and say whatever he needs to say. So you said the laws are going to change in 2026. How are they changing?
Well, they got certain laws in the state of Minnesota where they're going to be scrutinizing more things, such as stop and frisk and other stuff like that. We got consent decrees, and we got to put laws on the books that's going on. We have a county prosecutor who is saying that for the next, I think she's here for 15 months, that she's not going, maybe 13 months now, that she's not going to be just prosecuting people for traffic stops that's leading to other things. The police are going to have to show and prove. And so that's changing the law. However, that's also making the agencies ramp it up because they need those dollars, because they want wings on the county jail. That's the part that folks don't know. Like, it becomes a shell game where they say, hey, we ain't got enough bed space. You think bed space is the problem, or do you think we got too many people coming into the prison? Because the population ain't changing much in numbers. So why are we having more people committing crimes? The conversation shouldn't be about more bed space. The conversation should be more so about rehabilitation. And are we really rehabilitating these men and women that we're locking up? Are we making it so people don't have to commit crimes so that they are putting themselves inside of the county jail that's leading them to prison? And if we're putting money in expanding the county jail, how much of those dollars are taken away from education? How much of those dollars are taken away from making citizens decent? Brother Rodney, I don't want you to if you got
Yeah,
it.
Rodney, I want to get you in, Rodney, before you had to roll, because I know you got to roll soon.
So Nevada just passed, the Nevada governor just called the special session of our legislature. And one of the purposes and main purposes of calling that special session was to pass Nevada's crime bill. And it did pass with Democrats and black legislators voting for it,
Mhm.
very similarly to what happened in the national crimes bill back in 94. And we know that homes were broken, um, generational wealth was diminished, if not totally stolen. We lives, children whose parents are incarcerated are like 7 times more likely to be incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
So we are still feeling the effects nationally from the 94 crimes bill. And our governor just passed a crimes bill here in Nevada that will decrease the requirements for a felony,
Mm-hmm.
will increase the number of people that will go to jail. And
Mm-hmm.
let's keep in mind that the private prison industry in this country is blowing up. It is booming because of the number of private, well, concentration camps, supposedly for ICE. But we know that the vast majority of people who get picked up have no violent criminal record, no criminal record at all, and are not all undocumented immigrants to this country. They could pick up, just like Brother Barry said, all of us on here, all, in every law enforcement's eyes, we all look Haitian. We just don't speak French. So
Mm-hmm.
this this is we need this app here because we know that uh, ICE has been here
Mm-hmm.
and will be back here from just the sheer number of people that we have of that are immigrants, and especially from south of the border. This is one of the first places that they come.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to a meeting of Black leaders. It's called the Black Leadership Collective, and it's going to have clergy as well as community leaders, and maybe we might even have a politician or two there today. And if Brother Barry gives me the go ahead, uh, one of my roles is to help plan for when ICE gets here.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of that, my presentation was going to be the watch.
Please do it. Please do it. And this is what I would say to our community. We have to start being on the front end versus the back end of things.
Yes. Yes.
You'll be shocked. And I just want to, and it's in the same vein. Before they cut off FDA, nobody was trying to talk about food drops. We were doing the drops, but nobody was asking us to be a part of their organizations and partnering with this person or that person. Even though we were on
Rodney,
four,
with
five,
these clergy folks today showing up.
we were on
I'm
4 to 5 media outlets at one time on one day here in the Twin Cities with our second drop. We were on all the major outlets and we were on a couple of the suburban outlets. And we still were not getting politicians. We weren't getting organizations asking how could they partner. But soon as they found out that it was a shortage, I got all kinds of people inboxing me, asking me questions. I say that to say, let's not do that with ICE. Let's not wait for another George Floyd situation. Let's not wait until it's too late. Because if you come to me after it's late, I can sell you and I'll be happy in some aspects, but I will definitely be more mortally sad that that person probably could have kept their life if they've had this app in their phone because they may have known who that officer was that they were coming up against based off of previous stuff that would be inside of the app, or they would have had other people recording and that officer would have known if I do this, it's not Facebook where we can control it. The watch is something totally different. And this man is going to have access to attorneys because they're going to be on this app looking as well. Somebody's going to take that case. So those are the types of things that I want us to think about when we are asking you, what should we, shouldn't we? I say you should right away. I would also say it's if you don't want to pay an annual subscription, it's just $5.99 a month. Start there. Start there. $6. You can start
I'm
today
about to
with
say you gotta round it up because the penny is dead now, so you gotta round it up.
well, digitally, hey, what I don't know what Trump talking about. Digitally, it's still that penny still exists because we ain't been dealing with, But with that being said, um, another thing that I think is very important for us to pay attention to: organ harvesting. I've heard 2 stories this week where black people were found murdered somewhere, and they were found. they died in an odd fashion, but before the family got to the bodies, the organs were removed. And I think that that's something when we start looking at all of these missing people that's going on around the country, we have to start looking at that aspect of it. And so you need this app because this app may be what that panic button feature, man or woman, may save you from being abducted. And if they don't know about it yet and you got it, then you got the element of surprise because that voice activation, whether you drop your phone wherever it may be, that voice activation, soon as you hit that panic button, it's going to alert your family and friends, and they'll be able to see and hear what's going on. And if they're close by, they'll be able to come to you, or law enforcement will be sent directly to that ping of your phone.
That's what's up. Again, I think this is going to be a game changer as far as public safety is concerned. You know what I'm saying? Definitely recommend people go out there and get on board because not only did you put a lot of work in this, bro, this is definitely a tool for folks that look like us and the brown community, hell, the LGBTQ community.
Mm-hmm.
The way and how hot things are in the streets right now, this is something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because these jokers are playing for keeps, and they're playing for keeps for themselves, not for anybody damn else. Even those who may look like them, if you're not in the same level as them, they ain't caring about you. They just demonstrated that during the election. They demonstrated that during the battle of SNAP benefits during the governmental shutdown. They demonstrated that when they cut benefits and resources. I'm sorry, for care in suburban communities, in rural communities. They don't care about you. They
Mm-hmm.
are worried about self. And if you're not on the same label as that level, I'm sorry, not label, level as them,
Mm-hmm.
you are one of many.
Yeah.
Welcome to the game, y'all, because that's how they playing this monster.
Yeah.
Um, Wanted to get into a couple. Did you want to add anything else, bro? Before we moved on, because I
Oh,
wanted to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene, this proposed ceasefire, whatever peace agreement between the Ukraine and Russia as well. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say because I try to share the link inside of Facebook, and I was working on it this morning, and I had a way for it to show up, but it's back showing up funky. But it's a back end that I have to clean up. What's called scrubbing, and once I do it, it'll populate on Facebook. So I don't want people to think that I'm not. So if you're listening to this later, because people do go back and listen later on these
They do.
streams, I am going to make sure that not only do I put it on the one on my wall, I'll make sure I put it on the one on the Real Radio wall, and it will populate so you can go on right away, sign up, enjoy it. And even if you can't sign up for free, I mean, if you can't do it for $5.99 to get a t-shirt, you can sign up today for free, and it's going to give you access to do this. You'll be able to record interactions, but you won't have all of the other benefits of the app. So I just want to make sure I put that up. Hey, brother said somebody cue up Michael Jack. They don't care
Like
about.
Jackson.
Hey, 100%.
Hey, Mike was ahead of his time, man. He was on it. He was definitely on it. You know what I mean? All right, so I don't know. All right, there we go. Look, thank you, bro. Real talk. Appreciate that. And like he said, please look him up. The Watch. What's the web address again?
So it's www. Let me because I got a new web address. So let me get it today. It is thewatchapp.org.
Okay. Thewatchapp.org. Thewatchapp.org. Get familiar with that. As
Mm-hmm.
we move on, I want to stick with the Twin Cities for a half a heartbeat, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace to the brother Gary Jelly Bean Johnson. He was a member of the time, and he passed away just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to give that shout out. Also wanted to recognize Chadwick Boseman, got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And can I say
we
something
will
about Jelly?
definitely. Yes,
I'm
please.
friends with both of his daughters, Bianca as well as Misha, and we're trying to bring Misha over to the watch. So I know that both of them are good sisters. Bianca does a lot of work in podcasting as well as media in the Twin Cities, so she's known in that space. And Misha does a lot of work when it comes to mental health and child protection services. So shout out to both of those sisters. RIP. I did say condolences to both of them on that page. I'll try to call Misha a little bit later, but losing a father, I do want to speak on that piece. Losing the father is a big thing, especially for daughters. I know how close my relationship is with my daughter. So I wish them nothing but the best as he's transitioning on with the ancestors.
That's what's up. Yeah, respect to them, without a doubt, without a doubt. Again, Chadwick Boseman got his start in the Hollywood Walk of Fame this week. Co-stars Michael B. Jordan was there, and the sister Letitia, what's her name?
I don't know. You talking about from
Oh
the
yeah, I know, right? I know, right? I didn't write it down because I thought I would remember her name. But anyhow, the latest Black Panther, I know Rodney would know, but she was there as well next to his wife. It was definitely fitting that they were in the house, supportive of their brother as his light continues to shine, even though he's no longer with us. Okay, one more. Speaking of that, Cabin in the Sky dropped yesterday. If you've not listened to the album De La Soul, Cabin in the Sky, be prepared. It's a heart wrencher. If you go through it straight through, it's going to break your heart. Then right after that, it'll pick you up and you'll go into the stratosphere. It is definitely a banger. Can't remember how many tracks it's on, but I think I only skipped through like two songs that I just didn't catch it. You know what I mean? But the rest of it was 100% De La. It was love, love. They held it together. They held it down. Couple of features. It wasn't as many features as I thought it was going to be either. I thought Common was definitely going to be on the album more than he was on, but he wasn't because, in my opinion, Common is the fourth member of De La Soul. So I thought he was going to be on the album more. He wasn't, but that's okay. It's a very good project. Very good project. Um, I shouted out their producer. I had no idea that brother was as good as he was. I was like, God dang, son, I didn't know. I did not know, but it felt like daylight, sounded like daylight. It was definitely a native tongue project. It was a good look. It was a good look. The features were perfect. It was a very good look. So definitely check that out too. All right, moving on. So let's get into meat and potatoes, if you will. So did not see this coming though, brother Barry. You did tell me not too long ago that she was eyeing a run for another seat. Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you did not know, has announced that she will retire from Congress on 5 January 2026. Did not see that coming at all. But she has definitely been in the ring going round for round, pound for pound with Donald Trump as of late. And I think he got the best of her. I think he got the best of her when he said publicly that he would support a primary challenge to her. He's called her a traitor. But when he dropped that line, I think that really got her. I think that got her because she was playing the political game, meaning a fight between her and another Republican. I think she thinks it would have really weakened the Republican position in her district and the potential of a Democrat taking that seat. That still may happen regardless, but knowing Trump, knowing how he plays dirty, I think it would have exposed a whole lot of crap between the two candidates that could have been used as fodder for the fire when the Democrat, whomever he or she is going to be, steps up and tries to go after the same seat.
Hmm.
She's been in Congress now for 5 years. Again, Congresswoman from Georgia. She predicted not only a nasty primary if she stayed in, but also that the House will lose control. I'm sorry, the GOP will lose control of the House after the midterms. I don't know what to take it from this. You know, she has definitely changed, turned over a different leaf, sung a new tune, however the hell you want to call it, a classic, over
Mm.
the past couple of weeks. I don't know um, if she's done that out of her really understanding that she was on the wrong side of history, or she did it as a political calculus. Either way, she has been a staunch supporter of President Trump and his regime. So to see her bow out in such a manner, I believe, is the beginning of others doing the same. I was reading the article, another young lady in the House, Republican, she's trying to make a move. And she's like, yo, if y'all won't call it to the floor, I'm going to put forward a petition just like the one for Epstein, get 218 votes, and I'm gonna make you all vote on it. Like, it's these jokers are breaking ranks. This is not a good day for Johnson. This is not a good week for Johnson at
Mm.
all. Which I'm not shy from saying I'm happy for. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother.
Oh no, no, you're good. I mean, listen, I'm gonna let you say it, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think the play is.
Okay. Yeah. So this is not a good week for Johnson. Hell, it's not a good week for the president, to be honest with you. This dude went from, and we'll talk about Mandami in a little bit. He went from champion the strategy of Madami is a monster, Madami is uh, a socialist, a Marxist, you name it. They called that boy everything under the book. And now all of a sudden they're having a meeting and they're chummy, chummy, grinny, grinny at the end. Oh, he's a good guy. He's a winner. Blah, 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 blah. You know how Trump does. That dude will spin he'll spin a spin, to be real with you, especially if it's spinning away from him. He will backtrack, regurge, whatever the hell you want to call it. He will do whatever he needs to do in order for him to save face and make himself look good in the moment. That's all I got on that. Go ahead, Thomas. You got it.
Well, what I would say about Marjorie Taylor Greene, a couple things, is that Republicans in certain states are not really with Donald Trump. Georgia's one of
Mm,
those states. Indiana's another state. So she's not really worried about the primary. What I think
okay.
Taylor Greene is trying to do is she's trying, because nobody likes a loser. And so what she's trying to do is she's trying to quit before the Republican Party take a collective loss, double
Mm,
2028, and then she can be the face of the Republican Party, just
mm,
in case the Dems run a minority character, I should say, categorized person. If Gavin Newsom does not do it, or if they just want to galvanize women in general. So if you look at her stance, it's been pretty pro,
biggest mistake they can make.
pretty pro women, and it has been calling Trump out and her understanding, because sometimes the truth is in the details. The details is they're going to lose the House. And then she said, and then I'm going to ask to primary on the response on the behalf of the president the next 2 years. And he has been threatening, and she categorized him as an abusive spouse. And I think listening to that, that tells me this is not necessarily about the party per se. I think she's trying to position herself because he's really just a lame duck president. And I can't lie, y'all. I was in the bed, kind of somewhat having sympathy for her, and then I had to slap myself. I said, "See, this is what happens, Rashi, when you sleep deprived. You forget sometimes. Your Negro brain. You conditioned to feel sorry for blonde hair, blue eyed
I ain't
people.
never forgot that blonde,
Well, I mean, hey, I've been
bad body,
you be sleep deprived. You be shocked what you
bleach.
forget. So
I
at 4 o'clock in the morning, looking at the story, hearing her, and I'm like, then I got a second wind. I said, wait a minute, nope. She was in on the heist. She just don't like her cut. That's what this is about. So I think that the folks in Georgia would have had her back. I think they have her back. Keep in mind, it was the Republicans in Georgia who would not overturn or give Trump they would not mess with the ballot box per se. That was Republicans in Georgia who did that. Many people forget that because a lot of folks think it was the Democrats. No, but it was the Republicans in Georgia. They have a Republican governor. He refused to play ball. So I think that that's very important to understand. Rodney says defense officials reminding the military and national defense official. Yep, that's a part of it because people are understanding that they are asking folks to do illegal crimes. And I think another thing that Marjorie Taylor has recognized too, Brother Lee, is that when these Epstein files are fully read, and
Mm-hmm.
don't mind me calling out national media on this. It was an old song. I can't remember the song. It was a hip hop song in the 80s. And it said, I can't wait till we get to the good part. I'm waiting.
Mm.
I'm waiting on
When
them
we
to
gonna get to the
do the
good
good
part?
part. There we go.
Get on to the good
Good
part.
part. Come
Hey,
on
when
now.
we gonna
That's
go
what I'm
ahead
talking
and
about.
get
Yeah.
to it?
Okay. Okay. Rashi, who rapped that song? That was my
I want to
jump.
say that was Houdini or some shit
Okay.
like
All
that.
right. Okay. My cousin put me onto that. Okay. So we're going to get to the good part. And the good part about this is about the financial ramifications of Donald Trump. This is a conversation about Trump not having what he was saying that he has, and the Russian oligarchs who are backing him, and how Epstein was playing between the Russians and the Israelis. That's what this is truly about. And I wish the media would come out and tell the true story. Another thing that I'm hating this slow drip of the names. Those
Mm.
those folks who sit on that committee, once the files were released, there's nothing stopping them, Brother Lee, from getting to a podium and say, okay, now that the files were signed to be released, he's on the list, he's on the list, she's on the list, they on the list, we on the list. Why aren't they doing that? When are we
I
going to get
think
to
some.
the part?
No. I think some. I'm not trying to stop. I'm just trying to add. I think some of them are nervous that folk that donate to them are connected in them files, and they trying to tread real light. That's why the slow drip.
Well, you know what? I can believe that, right? I can believe that a lot of it is tied up to the money. But what I would say is, and I'm just going with the Democrats have been saying publicly, is
Mm-hmm.
that they don't care. And they want this to come out. They don't care, because they're asking, they've subpoenaed the Clintons. They want Hillary and Bill to come. And I'm watching and I'm like, Democrats, when we gonna get to the good part? We ain't got listen, hit the nuclear button. We ain't got to do this. We had this wrapped up by Christmas.
Mm.
Listen, we had this wrapped up by Christmas. That's the part that I want the American people to get about media as well as the politicians. They got the information. I'm listening and to other people who've read all 20,000 documents. And they're saying things that they're not talking about on NBC or MS Now or CNN or Fox. And I'm like, that's in the documents? Wow. I'm talking about we ain't gonna talk about it on this show, Rashi, but who is Bubba that Trump was blowing? Hmm? Who's Bubba? And they said it wasn't Bill Clinton.
Mm.
And it's supposed to be a horse.
Hmm? Come on now. Let's talk.
Because
Mhm.
Epstein had a horse named Bubba. Listen, I ain't even get this too salacious for me. I can't
Mhm.
get into that. I resonate low, but they down there up damn near up under my feet, and it's hard to go lower than I be. This is what I want to know though. When you get ready to say I quit, like you tell people, oh look how sad this government is not working, right? And then your next move after telling they need to get back to work is to quit that job.
Mhm.
How it looks, the optics are so crappy. Like I hate to sound like David Axelrod, but how you gonna tell me I ain't at work and then quit that job? It don't make sense. If you really want me to rally with you, say I won't quit. What I want to do is be honest. Say I want more power. I want more power. Not look what he did to me. Look what he's doing. Now I gotta quit. That's such a victim role. Not that she's not a victim, but it's a victim stance optically. What you want to do is you want to drag your audience with you. Say, here, this is what's happening at this level, but we can fix this with political campaign reform and stuff like that. So this is the position I need to be in if you really want to see me champion and warrior for you. Campaign that way. That's this new thing she's finna do is woe is me. She's gonna come back, like you said, right? For more power. Because people like her got to have some kind of power. She's not gonna quit. Quit. She'll end up working for what you say, MS now before it's all over with. But when she come for her next bout of power, it's going to be from victim stance. Look what Donald did to me. Look, and I finally made my way back. Help me, appoint me.
Mhm.
No, girl,
But you
you
know,
got to
playbook.
come through. You got to come through with like, he's, yes, he is wrong. And if I'm going to fix it, you got to put me here. People
That's a
hear that.
that's a play out of the communist playbook, though. That is a play out of the communist playbook, where you have a person like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has been an assistant to the villain. She somehow, some way, has an aha moment, and now she starts to assist the people that she victimized, so that she can later be championed. Her wrongs will be done, and it will elevate her in the front light of things.
Okay.
And that's part of the play. And so she still, I mean, as much as she may say that she's denouncing these things, keep in mind the verbiage that she was using to change this. She started talking about the impact to her personal family, not the impact to the people she represent. It wasn't hitting the people in her district that got her to change her mind. It was, hey, my kids got to pay this fee now, and they can't afford it. My family is calling me and they're saying they're dealing with this. She never gave you a story from someone inside of her district where she personalized and she went out and she made sure that she was
That they
advocating.
was in jail. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is that if they know that these documents are coming out and they see him as a marked man, don't be shocked if more of them do not do what she did and resign. Because another part of this, too, while we're talking, is the financial theft of the American dollar under Trump for a lot of the Republicans, Marjorie included, that if he said a mouth will say anything. Ain't that the truth, Brother John? The amount of theft that has happened with them, Brother Lee, I'd run for the hills too. Because
Mm.
this Epstein bomb drops, and Marjorie and the rest of them have been using their position in Congress to make themselves rich at the cost of the
Which they
American
have.
public, then hey, hey, listen, brother, if you're on the crime scene and the police is there, ain't too far for them to go put the handcuffs on your ass. Okay?
Right. You gonna stick around? Be like, I
Okay.
don't know where. Your shoes got blood on
So
the top and the bottom and the side. It's like, what
she just letting you know, come January 6th or whatever the next,
the
I
fifth?
won't be there. The 5th,
I
hey,
ain't gonna
listen,
be. I ain't gonna be.
if you show up on the 6th, I ain't there. You whatever it is, you better catch me while you can, gingerbread man. Right?
But
That's what she said.
I guarantee she gonna collect the check on her way out. Look, check this out. Let's talk about yeah, for real, right? Let's talk about that the funeral. I forgot about that one.
Mm,
So Thursday, Vice President Cheney, I
mhm.
said president by mistake. Because you know he was the president during the first damn term. Then George Bush may have been the president the second go around, but the first go around, Cheney was the president.
Right?
Say what you want to say. We already know what's going on. But there was some absentees during the funeral there. So normally when a president, vice president pass, all living presidents or vice presidents come and pay their respects.
Yep.
Didn't see Vance there. Didn't see Trumpy there. Word on the street is they didn't get invited. This is yet another kink in the armor of the GOP. I will call them GOP, Rodney, because I they are the Trumplican party. Okay, I understand that, Rodney. I understand, but they are claiming to be GOP, so I'm going to say they're still the GOP.
Mm.
To your point, Brother Barry, he is a lame duck. Don't know why it took people this long to recognize that, but I think they may have thought that they were going to get a little further, a little faster than they did. Things got bogged down with the economy. It definitely changed a hell of a lot faster than I think they even anticipated that it would. I think that they didn't think he would push as hard and so fast for some other things that helps farmers. I'm sorry, that hurts farmers, that hurts folks with their medical benefits. Again, these are the things that their base needs. So I don't think they even anticipated he would go that far that fast. So here they go, trying to figure out where to get off at, or where to at least step to the side a little bit so all the crap don't hit them again. And it seems like the public has not fallen for the okie doke. Seems it's still a long time. We're a long ways away from next year. Yes, I'm gonna bring that up. We're still a long ways away. Rodney said even Indiana rejected him with a gerrymandering vote. I agree with that.
But do you know why though? Because I
No,
think
why?
because they are real Republicans, and that's the point that I think everybody's missing. That's why they're not going to do that. That's why Georgia is not going to do that because they
Because
don't.
they understand the repercussions.
No, it's not about he's a Yankee. He's a Yankee.
Mm,
He's a former Democrat. They know that this is a show. It's almost like we kind of forget the inner fighting amongst white people, blue blood versus non-blue blood. Dick Cheney is a blue blood Republican. Donald Trump is a mutt to him. He's not a real Republican. He doesn't have the same conservative values. He's a charlatan. That's how Cheney sees him. They don't have respect for him. They don't have love for him. They don't see him as one of them. They remember him backing other candidates who were Democrats, Hillary and Bill, and doing fundraisers for them. So they don't see him the way that this whole MAGA piece. And I think that's something else that we have to look at. As Rodney called, what do you call him? Trump, the Trump, what you call it, Rodney?
Trumplicans. He calls them Trumplicans.
Yeah. So Rodney calls them the Trumplicans, and that's real because of how the rest of them have been moving with him. But if you look at those old school blue-blooded Republicans, and that's why Tucker Carlson, that's why he's leaning the way he's leaning, because he's not pro-Trump. He's a conservative Republican, right? He's of that ilk up under Buchanan and Cheney and all of those guys, Bob Dole, those type of Republicans. They have no love, respect, or admiration for Donald Trump. If Donald Trump died tomorrow, you won't see George Bush at his funeral.
So are you saying that Steve Bannon considers those folks to be pussies? Are you saying that
those guys would look at Steve Bannon and they would say, lock his ass up tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, he said himself that if this tide switches, he going to jail. And he know he going to jail.
You got to understand, those guys are not pussies. Those are the guys that they're not going to sell out to the Russians, and they have no time for what they're looking at the rest of the public and saying we're pussy. Because what Cheney then would say is, we would have, if we were in power, we would have been taking them out. They're looking at the Democrats and saying, y'all let that fester. Y'all could have put that dog to bed. If the shoe was on the other foot, we would have put that dog to bed. Y'all didn't put the dog to bed. Y'all started fighting internally. which the Democrats do. Anytime the Democrats get up, the first thing they start doing is trying to clean house. Versus the Republicans, when they get up, they're trying to move the ball forward and gain more territory. We don't fight now because we're trying to gain the territory. What we're seeing with that funeral and Trump not being invited, or JD Vance or any of that ilk, is what the old guard is saying is A, we're separate from them, and then B, brotherly, I think it's that Russian influence again. And I can't help but look in and that goes back to this Epstein thing. All of those folks that's in Trump cabinet right now, if you ask Dick Cheney if he was alive, he would probably say that they were all traitors.
So why do you think he changed his story on releasing the Epstein files? You know, I hold that they've had enough time to scrub them while the government was shut down, to scrub whatever they wanted to scrub out of it, so that doesn't see the light of day. But I think that this too is a play because, like he said, we just need to stop talking about it. So the best thing to do is just get it out there. But I think they've scrubbed them, number one. And number two, I don't think people are going to read all that. I really think it's too much. And their play is the people on our side are going to say, if there was something in it that would be incriminating, why would I release it? So they're not going to read it, which is going to leave the other side rattling their sabers. Oh my God, blah, blah, boom. But then you're going to see them push back. Well, they crazy. They're always crazy. All you know, it's a witch hunt. Blah 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 blah. Blah. The same attack lines they've used before, which have been successful. I think they're playing this thing like that. That the base it's not going to read this. They're not even going to try to read it. It's going to be too much information for them to try to consume, and they're going to play a protected defense because their base didn't read it. So they can always say that the Democrats are just on another witch hunt. There's a nothing burger there. It's fake news, yada, yada, yada. Even though it's real and it's there. Now, my problem with that is Joe Rogan, for a second time, has broken with the MAGA line and said it's a problem here.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
So Rodney said
ratings going down.
Massive GOP. Rodney said it's a massive GOP vote to release them. Then he said 7 days before they had to release them. Secondly, scrubbing except for Democrats so he can weaponize it against them. I agree. I agree on all that.
You know what? I will tell y'all, this is what I think. I think they scrubbed it, but I think this is the other thing that they've done. And I've watched the Trump administration use what's said in the media and pivot and start taking the media talking points and then utilize it against the Democrats. And I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to open up the investigation on Democrats so that they can say, well, now that it's an open investigation, we can't turn over all of the files, because we're talking about an additional 20, 30,000 files, but I'm hearing that there's over 100-some thousand files that are still left. And I think that those are the files that he's trying to hold off. Now, once again, the difference of hearing that piece and then hearing the other side from the attorneys of the girls is that they've seen the files already. So they know who those people are. So it's not like people are, if you will, not knowledgeable of who these men are or women are. It's just that the information, because I saw a interview where they said one of the young ladies was threatened, that they knew where she lived and where her son went to school. This was recently. And so that's why they're not saying that, because they're still getting the threats. And one of the things that Trump has done under his regime is that he has decreased the amount of FBI agents that would handle a situation like that. And, you know, once again, speaking on intentionality, which I feel like the media has done a poor job of, we need to start asking, why would they decrease the FBI? Why are you getting rid of national security by $1 billion or so Who does that help?
Let's talk. Let's talk to that. So, Department of Ed announced yesterday they plan on not recognizing certain nursing degree programs as professional programs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to limit the resources that folks could obtain, and as they want to ascend the ladder and take on more responsibility in those programs.
Yeah.
Nursing was not the only one. They
Mm-hmm.
also spoke to and highlighted social services. Now,
Mm-hmm.
something that kept cropping up on this is those are mandatory reporters.
Mm-hmm.
You're not understanding what a mandatory reporter is. A mandatory reporter is a person in the profession that has to report
Mm-hmm.
to child protective services, the police, whomever, that a child
Mm-hmm.
has been sexually abused.
Okay.
Now, why would you want to do that in the midst of all this going on and around the Epstein files? Why would you want to target folks whom are mandatory reporters unless
Hold on,
there
Tom.
may be something trying to hide?
Hold on a second. So my brother John Thompson just sent me a Channel 5 story that Trump ends temporary protective status for Somalis in Minnesota. That's
What?
that's crazy. I'm gonna go back and check it out so I can make sure. But it's an ABC story. I'm gonna look it up and see. But that's crazy. So that was big news. That's big news. We'll talk about it next week.
All right, let's end on the Mandami meeting, and then we'll transition out because we only have 7 minutes left in the show. So the Mandami meeting went like most of his meetings go. You know, and again, y'all, I say this: he never fired anybody on The Apprentice. That was an empty room. The camera was on him. He said whatever he had to say. Then the other person was fired by somebody else. That's why the reactions were as they were normally. It's not in him. He doesn't have the cojones to do something like that. He's a people pleaser. Trump is a freaking pleaser. He wants to be liked. That's how you get him. That's how you put him in your pocket. You play up to his ego. So he said, and allowed others to say all this crap about Mandami while the campaign was going on. He's a Marxist. He's coming to take everything you got. He's going to raise your prices. He's going to rape and pillage all the villages. Whatever. Now they sit in a meeting Friday. After the meeting, questions come. Trump says, "I hope he does well. I'm confident he'll be very good at his job. I'm confident that he can do a very good job." All of this is a clash
Mm-hmm.
at what the Republicans were trying to tee up. The Trumpicans, the MAGA, whatever the hell you want to call it, were trying to tee up. They were trying to tee Mandami up as being a loose cannon.
Mm-hmm.
This is the face of the Democratic Party in the future. This is the guy you need to be worried about because all of them about to be socialists, all of them about to be Marxists. But
Mm-hmm.
now you got Trump skinning and grinning with this cat,
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Oh no, he's a great guy. He's a winner. No, he'll be fine. I have all the confidence in the world in him." That's a problem. That's a huge freaking problem. I can see the chairman of the Republican National Committee like, what the fuck are we supposed to do right now? What are we supposed to do after this? Like, what's the play? These guys got all the freaking steam, all the wind under their sails, all the steam in their engines. We got the anchor, and now you just go, you just take the anchor. Yeah, I'm going. We're good. Nah, we don't need that. We'll beat them anyhow.
Oh, you know why?
What?
You know why you got to do that, right? Because
why? Talk to me.
So when your role is over as president, I'm talking about an actor.
Mhm.
When they say cut on his role, where's he going back to
Yeah.
live? Where's he going back to live?
New York. Oh, he's definitely going to New York.
Who's gonna be mayor of New York?
New York, New Jersey, whatever. Mandami, yeah. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to
Where's Trump Towers at?
New York.
So if you piss that man off and he's already talking about taxing corporations, who's getting taxed first?
Oh, Trump.
And you got to keep in mind, he's also what? He's also, like they said, they're worried about criminal investigations. So if I am Madami and I'm talking about taking things from criminals, let's say Trump dies in office or something happens where they find out that these are ill-gotten gains. Man, the city of New York gonna own Trump Tower and Trump Enterprises.
Yeah.
And so that's why you have to do that, because this is what I feel like the party is almost doing, if we're paying attention. They're taking a knee because they know what's coming next. So
Yeah, that's official.
he's an
That's
Indian.
official. That's official. I just looked it up. It's official.
So listen, I knew that was going to happen. And remember when I told you about that $1 billion in fraud? I told you brothers on a show a couple of weeks ago about the FBI agent who told me about the $6 to $9 million in cash that was coming from healthcare in Minnesota that was being sent over to Somalia. You got to understand that those were FBI agents up under the first Trump regime that they saw that and they were told to let it go. So that's very important because they've been building that case and they're going to, and it's going to be an attempt to embarrass Governor Walz, because Trump, he always goes after his enemies. Now, Walz, because he was with Kamala, he's an enemy. So they're going to highlight
And
that.
it keeps Walz from running out in 2028.
100%. And he has problems back home. Like I've seen a couple things where they are marrying Walz to all of the fraud that the Somalis have done. One of the big things that's happened here this past week is that one of our biggest healthcare providers, UCare, had to shut their door. And you got to understand, UCare was for the poorest of the poor. Why did they shut their doors? Because of the fraud. And that fraud that the Somalis were doing, that impacted UCare. So when you see these provisions, you're not going to have a bunch of Minnesotans crying, "Oh, Susanna," for the Somali community. I was just in a Uber the other day, and I had a Nigerian Uber driver who was going in on the Somalis. So they don't even get love from people from the continent. That's what he said. Oh, most Africans, we don't like them. I said, you African and you don't like other Africans? Like y'all tripping. But I'm just saying, this is where things are going. So I just find the Republicans are kind of hinting that they know that MAGA, the last episode of MAGA, and maybe I was late. Okay, Lee, it wasn't Halloween. It was not Halloween. But Christmas.
He's talking about the release of the Epstein files and the downing of Trump, y'all. Just in case you're not familiar.
But they're here now. And I told you when those files got released, what I tell you was going to happen. It's going to be his ass.
It was going to begin at the end. Yes, you did.
All right. So we going to watch the movie play out. And that's what I got on that. But I will say this about Mudani, right? Mondani.
Right.
I think Mondani carries himself very charismatic. And I think that when you are a person like Mondani, who is a smooth operator, a person like Trump does not harm you. As a matter of fact, it just makes you seem stronger. And I think he handled himself well. However, I will say, like always, black man skepticism. You got to be careful of all these folks, man. So keep one eye open, even on him.
Sister Rosh, you got anything to end with?
No, I just love when y'all call him Mama Hamala Hamana Domini. Mama Hammer. Okay. Y'all, I'm on break and I'm having a good time. So I'll see y'all next Saturday.
All right, sister. Well, you enjoy your holiday break and whatnot. Get your mind right. Get a couple extra. Make sure you good before you go back.
Hey,
That's what's up, Brother Barry.
Hey, Rashi, before Rashi goes, Rashi, I want to make sure that I send you those links, because if you do have students that you got access to, make sure the calculus app, not the calculus, sorry, the Mayat app, which goes from kindergarten to calculus, they can do math over the break, and then also the spelling bee app. They can do.
This is another one other than the spelling bee app. You done made another one?
Yeah, yep, I do. Yep, it's already done.
Please give me those apps. I would love.
So I'll inbox those apps to you, and then it's free. And even we got, I believe, with the spelling bee app, we have it where they can print off coloring sheets and color and stuff like that. And we'll be working on trying to flip some of this stuff into curriculum as time go on. We just want to get the beta done, and then by January see where we at, and then we'll do curriculum and put pieces together so teachers
I'm
can use
happy.
that in the classroom.
I'm happy to beta test that for you. No worries.
All right, thank you.
Man, the hell with Merriam-Webster. All we need to do is have Thomas Berry going on around this piece. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
Shit.
hey,
Look,
listen.
bro.
So I just want to say shout out to everybody out there. If you did not get a chance to check out the show, make sure you go check it out. Go back. If you do sign up today, whether it's the $5.99 a month or you do an annual, just contact myself, contact Lee, and you say, hey, I was watching Real Radio, and I wanted to sign up for the Watch app, and I did sign up. I will make sure that we get you a t-shirt out with the newer designs. Nobody has them. Nobody on my team. I don't have them. None of my supporters have them. So be one of the first to grab one. But I would tell you the annual subscription is worth it because it locks you in. And I think it's like $12 cheaper a year. So
That's what's up. Look, fam, thanks for bringing the word. I know Rodney Smith had to bounce, but as we always do, we bought and held it together while anybody and everybody was getting it in. I was all discombobulated. I truly thought I sent you all the link last night, and I was like, shit. I thought I sent it this morning. I was like, shit. I didn't do it either time, so I did it literally right before we went live, and that's how it be sometimes. But live show, that's why it happens when I'm the engineer and every damn thing. I'm getting old. It be that way. Love y'all. If nobody told you all that they loved you all week, we do any damn thing you can do about it. Until next week, family. Peace. Need to go watch this Notre Dame game.